Okay, so I'm going to resume the game now. I chose 3 professions. I'll go over those in a sec. But I'm just looking through the notes, and there's 2 things I forgot to do. I forgot to give myself some cash. So I start off the game with 3,500 florin. Doesn't seem like a lot, because it's not. And then I also, the game also does put 700 florin, which is the same. It puts the same amount of florin that you stuck on extra on this first gesture. It takes that same amount and sticks it on top of this the prestige deck. Now that's going to slowly change into changes as the game goes on, but because you're going to take stuff off of those and add them to the professions that you can purchase later on. I took my other profession, stuck it at the bottom here. That's kind of how that works. Okay, so now I'm going to continue the game. I chose, for my cards, something that has an opera, a forest, and a travel. The opera is not on the board yet, but the forest obviously is, and the game's trying to score a lot with it. And then travel, it has at least a couple cards in there that really want that one. I also chose the theater, which is on the board. That's this little awkward piece right here. And I also the park and then the religion, so the park and then the religion, and then I also went for the workshop, the forest, and the religion. So the forest seems to be something that both of us really want. I'd really like to take that forest away from him because like he's going to score a lot of points if he starts to score on the forest. The way the game works, okay, so. First, you have an auction phase, and then you have the 2 action phase. The auction phase means you just can purchase certain stuff. The action phase, you could take 2 actions, which involves purchasing different stuff, or trying to store work value. That's kind of literally how the game goes. There's only 7 rounds, so it's not that long of a game, but there's a lot of big decisions you make as the game goes on. I am looking at his things now. At the end of the round, once I've actually kind of taken all my actions, we get to reduce by 2 items by a total amount of 500 florin to reduce the cost later on as the game goes on. So you can take 1 item and reduce it down by 500, or you can take 2 items, reduce one by 200, and reduce another one by 300. It's up to you. It really kind of depends on how you want to play. And by reducing it, you basically take florins off of the board. Now, right now, he's getting, for each one of these individual stacks on there, he's getting good stuff. So I'd like to reduce that somehow, if at all possible. So I have to figure out what I want to purchase. Now, before I do anything, I get to move this item selection marker. Now, this item selection marker, you get to move it 3 spaces for free. If you move over one of these spaces where you have this little 100 florin, then you get to take that 100 florin. So if I did this, I could still stick it back on the lab, but I could take this 100 florin off and just add it to my cash. So I can consider doing that, but I can also consider getting that forest, and that forest looks pretty good. Now, each of these gestures add 2 work value to anything that's going to be scored that round. And actually, if you have the person, if either I or the AI has created the work that's worth the highest, you get another extra 3 points. Not 3 work value, 3 points. So competing for that extra 3 points actually matters, and it matters a lot. It can add a lot to the game. So I have to consider what I want to do. Don't have experience with the normal difficulty, but I completely destroyed the basic difficulty. I want to figure out which is going to be worth more in terms of like how much I'm going to pay and how much is it worth. If I go for this forest right now, that's going to reduce a lot of his stuff. Sorry, these actually, all his work values now go face down and they're shuffled. So we don't know what he's going to try to build this round. Keep that in mind. That's something you need to change. Gesture's always good. Getting another profession card's always good because that increases your options later. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, what can you actually buy during the auction phase? Well, you have to pay a basic price of $200 for anything, plus any florin that are actually sitting on top of the thing as well. So you can buy a forest, a lake, or park, so the 3 the landscape tiles. You can buy a builder, or you can buy a jester. You can buy a prestige card, one of these ones, or you buy a recruiting card. I'll go over those when they actually come up. The other things you buy as part of your turn, and I'll go over that in a sec. I'm really not liking the fact that he's going to score a lot should that forest come up. So yes, I'm paying a lot for a forest because we'd be paying 800. Is that really the way to go? It's probably not really the way to go. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go for that jester instead. Because gestures is going to increase every work value instead. So I'm going to do this here. I move it to this piece right here, and I just take that extra 100 for. So now I am paying quite a bit. I'm paying 700 plus 200, so 900 plus 1,000. So I'm paying 1,900 for that. Now, of course, I'm doing this weird thing with all these extra little fake coins. So let's stick these all back down here. So 1,900, I grab this first jester. 1,900. So I'll put the 2,000 here. I've already reduced my cash by a significant amount. And I'm just going to take one of these, but I'm going to pretend it's a single 100 form. I just don't have enough cash to make this work normally. Okay, so I do that. Don't have a lot of cash left, but I can do at least do that. One of the things to keep in mind, though, let me just check and see if this matters yet. If the player now has 2 jesters and the game does not have a prestige card, he automatically takes the top prestige card. And if at the end of the game he satisfies the conditions, then he's going to get more points. So you're competing against a pretty tough jester. So I only have one jester yet, so that's still okay. I can now build stuff. And what can I build? I can build buildings. They cost $700 plus whatever foreigners sitting on top of it. I can buy the freedom tiles. They cost $300 plus whatever foreigners are sitting on top of it. I can buy a profession card, which is $300. I can buy a bonus card. The bonus cards increase the value of the profession cards. That's all I can do. That's all you can buy for. So freedom, profession cards, bonus cards, building cards, or you could choose to score works. Now you can only ever buy one freedom card per round, and you can only ever buy one profession card per round. But otherwise, you're kind of doing okay. What looks good? I want to make sure I have enough money next round. You also, when you score work, you have a minimum amount of work value that you have to actually be able to build. So like you have to have 700. I'll go over how to calculate the work value in case I do that. But for the moment, I believe I'm going to buy, for my first action, I'm going to buy this auction card. That's going to cost me 500. Now, it costs 200, so I can now finally start replacing some of these little fake cash. So this goes back. And I take this 1,000 right here and stick that back. So this is what the actual values of what they're supposed to be. I just have to do this makeshift thing until I actually have the correct value. And I take the religion card. Now, effectively, I've reduced a little bit of what he can actually score this next round. I don't have a lot of cash going next round. What would I actually want to buy next round? I may want to buy that forest tile, because that just looks good. Or I'd go for the second jester. Probably going to make that decision based on what that is. So, for the moment, what can I build? I can build... I can make that second jester worth something, or worth less. I wanted to get just cash, because the only reason to do this now is because you're actually just trying to grab cash from the beginning. I don't have the travel. This opera, I'm probably not going to stick that on the board, so I'm not going to go for that. That forest is valuable, so I probably don't want to build anything based on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually buy another profession card, and I'm going to spend 300 for that, bringing this cash value down. And now I have to do the fake 200 again because I have these little tokens. So these are 100 coins, they're not 1,000 coins. So I now have only I only have 900 left, but I'm going to buy one of these profession cards. Profession cards increase the work value of whatever, just anything you try to build, period. So it's always good to know to buy these, and it's good to know what's out there. Now, when you provide the profession cards, they cost. So what you do is you grab 4 of them. Hang on. Sorry. I think I'm just going to go with what this is. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I can't find it. I'm going to you grab 3 profession cards, you look at them, and you choose one of them, and you put the other 2 at the bottom. Laboratory. Don't like the lab. Is that the one he's trying to go crazy on? Yeah, he does like that laboratory, because there's at least 2 of them on there. And has a lake, and has an opinion. So this is the one that he didn't have. There's the university, which is sitting right here, and then there's the library. Library is where? Library is sitting right here. So I'm probably going to grab that laboratory, because at some point I'm probably going to want to build that, even if it is what it is. So that's what those are. These 2 go on the bottom now. So that's my whole round. Now he tries to score work, and in this case he's going to build the studio, the forest. He needs the studio, the forest, and religion. So the studio is this one right here. Does he get it? Yes, he does. The forest is there. He gets a lot, and then the religion tile, which he does not have, thankfully. For each gesture he scores, and then each profession card. In his case, he doesn't add individual profession cards. Let me just go point how much he actually gets. So the studio itself, it's worth 4 points by itself, plus 1 for every stack. So that's 5. We'll take this little thing here, and I'll be red, he'll be blue. So right now he's got something worth 5 work value. Next, he has a forest worth 3. Plus 1 of each stack, so 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6. Religion tile he does not have. Each jester's value is worth 2. Now in this case he doesn't add the actual cash value to each of those. So he gets another, he gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then each profession card, he doesn't score any from the profession cards here. But what he does do is he adds the round value of the turn, so that adds an extra 1. So now he's done that, and that's how much work value this thing is worth. So at the end of the day, this is worth 16. So now he never tries to grab cash, so he now builds something worth 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's worth 8 points, and He's the only person that built anything, so he has the highest amount. He gets an extra 3 points just because he had the highest, built the best work this round. 1, 2, 3. Now, at the end of the round, you add a couple more things. You do a couple more things. First of all, you reserve the work more values to 0. Okay, so this thing goes back down to 0. You advance the round marker, which I'm just going to do right now. So now it's the second round. You move 100 florins from the recruiting card to the prestige card. So this fake 100 goes down to the from the recruiting card. Yeah, from the recruiting card. Sorry, to the prestige card. So I messed that up before. Apologize for that. You'll have to fix that with the rules. And then he moves 100 from the fourth florin. Okay, so now I have to do this fake florins again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, you're just going to have to keep this in mind because, well, you should be able to figure it out because there's no way in the world that thing would be worth that much. Expansion, we're not playing the expansion. Cost reduction action. Now, the player I can choose to reduce up to 2 by maximum the total cost combined cost. I can choose to either go for this gesture next round, or I can choose to go for that landscape next round. I don't think I'm going to try to build a building yet. That just seems crazy. It just doesn't seem worth it. I'm going to. I don't have a lot of cash next round. I definitely want to score something next round. So I believe I'm going to reduce this forest by 500. So now it's only worth 100. Now, in doing so, I can replace some of these fake 100s over here. So I'll take these fake 100s, do that there. Those go away. So I now have 400. I still have 3 of these things left. I'm going to use to reduce. So I'm just going to change these 3 right here back into single 100s. Awkward, I know, but that's the way the game works. Of course, and then finally at the end of the round, you can choose to fill up any empty spaces up to 5 with florin. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 spaces there. So I am going to take this 500. This is actually supposed to be a 100. I'll just remember that. Let's use the 1,000 because that's kind of general normal. Stick that right there. And I am ready for the next round. Okay, so that's the first round. That's 18 minutes of fun. I'm going to stop this video right now, and I'm going to continue again in a different video.